Midterm mayhem following this week's elections. President Trump lashes out at the media, blaming it for dividing the United States. That as left-wing Antifa protesters have targeted a conservative Fox News anchor at his home the very same night as the vote. I can speak now to Anthony Brian Logan, who's a political and social commentator. Good to have you on, Anthony. Donald Trump, he started off in his press conference following the elections, trying, it seemed, to strike a conciliatory tone. He talked about working with the Democrats. It quickly descended, though, into a clash with the media, in particular Jim Acosta of CNN. Trump did what Trump does. He took up that kind of confrontational posture and he fought back. Would it help matters if Trump just acted a little bit more presidentially, or do you just have to let Trump be who he is?
You got to let Trump be Trump. That's what has gotten here. That's what has gotten him here so far. He's not been the conventional president. And I think we need that. It's too much of the same old games of political people that are just pretty much in there as puppets that are not going to be able to get anything done. And if they do get anything done, they're being controlled by the outside. Have somebody that's able to think for themselves, act for themselves, rather than being told what to do from the outside. He's doing well right now. People are just not used to it, but I think that they'll be thankful for it when it's all said and done.
I suppose one of the, what some people might say, dangerous sides of his personality and the way that he speaks in this confrontational manner is, for example, calling CNN an enemy of the people. Some people might take that literally. We had those incidents recently, reports of, bombs being sent through in the post to CNN headquarters. Is he coming dangerously close to inciting violence in the way that he speaks, or is that going too far in assessment?
I think that's going a little bit too far in assessment. You're going to have crazy people that are out there. I mean, you've had a lot of people on the left that have done really crazy things. Nobody wants to blame anybody for that. They just say, well, these people that do these things, the people that went to Tucker Carlson's home, they weren't emboldened by anybody. They just happened to do these things on their own. So the same thing should be said about the so-called MAGA bomber, whatever that guy's name was. The same thing should be said for him. What Trump is doing is the right thing to do. When you're putting out false information, misleading information, things that could be considered voter suppression. They want to talk about voter suppression in the midterm elections. When you put out a study that is intentionally misleading to confuse people, to discourage people from going out there and voting, that could be considered voter intimidation, voter suppression. So what he said here about being an enemy of the people is pretty accurate as a description, and it shouldn't be misconstrued with inciting violence.
What's going on with the left? Because Trump gets criticized for what's considered to be a divisive or aggressive stance, but the people who complain about him, they take quite aggressive stances against him too. You mentioned Tucker Carlson, his house being surrounded by Antifa protesters who were calling him a racist. So there's a lot of kind of bad being done by all parties involved.
Well, I think the bad is mostly coming from one direction. It's usually coming from the left, and then the right has to respond. I mean, you saw that in the actual press conference that Donald Trump was involved with. All these people getting up, yelling out of turn, screaming. I mean, the guy, Jim Acosta, wrestling the microphone away from the girl. I mean, come on. Like, what are we really doing? The left, they are attacking everybody that's not on the left, even those that are kind of in the center. I think it might come from fear that they're losing their power, they're losing their grip, and they are afraid of what Trump is going to do. So it's not really a two-party thing. It's not bipartisan violence. It usually comes from one side, and the other side has to defend itself.
Anthony, good to speak to you. Thanks for joining us on RT. Anthony Brian Logan, my guest, political social commentator.
Thank you.